Have you ever felt stuck in life, working hard, but deep down knowing you were meant for something bigger? Most people let that thought fade away. But the difference between ordinary and extraordinary lies in one choice: whether you dare to think big. Ethan was a 24-year-old college dropout working at a small coffee shop in New York. Every morning, he watched people in suits rush in, talking about business meetings, million-dollar deals, and new opportunities. Ethan, on the other hand, was stuck making lattes and wiping tables. One day, while serving coffee, he overheard two executives talking about launching a tech startup. Something inside him sparked. He had always dreamed of building something of his own. But almost instantly, another voice whispered in his head, "Who are you kidding? You barely passed college. You work in a coffee shop. Be realistic." That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He grabbed a notebook and wrote down every idea he ever had, no matter how crazy. For the first time in years, he allowed himself to dream big. The next morning, he promised himself, "I might fail, but I refuse to live small." He started learning, watching free YouTube tutorials, reading books, staying up late after his shift to work on his project. Most people around him laughed. His co-workers said, "Bro, you make $10 an hour. Just be happy with that." But Ethan didn't listen. He had already tasted what it felt like to think bigger, and there was no going back. It wasn't easy. His first two startup attempts failed. He lost money, made mistakes, and almost gave up. But every failure became a lesson. And with every lesson, his vision grew sharper. Instead of thinking small, he started asking himself bigger questions. What if I could impact 1 million people? What if I could build something that changes lives? 3 years later, Ethan launched a simple app to help people manage their finances better. At first, only a few downloads trickled in, but soon, word spread. Within months, his app had thousands of users. Investors noticed, and one day, the same kind of executives he used to serve coffee to were now asking him for meetings. Ethan went from wiping tables to running a multi-million-dollar company, all because he dared to think beyond his current situation. Ethan's story is proof of something powerful. Success doesn't come from where you start, but from how big you allow yourself to think. If your dreams don't scare you, they're too small. So I'll ask you, are you thinking big enough? Or are you shrinking your dreams to match your circumstances? Remember this: your current situation is not your final destination. You have a mind capable of shaping reality, but only if you believe it's possible. Stop asking, "What if I fail?" Start asking, "What if I succeed beyond anything I ever imagined?" Because life will always give you two choices: live safe and small, or think big and live a story worth telling.